Hello everyone and welcome to the start of Season 3 of Wolfsburg Warriors. Not only do we have the first match of the Bundesliga season in our third year here at Wolfsburg today, we also have transfers, that's incomings and outgoings of a pretty big nature in some cases, and we've actually won a trophy already this season, so we're doing great. Thank you for all the support on the series up to this point, you're all awesome, but I won't waste any more time. Let's run the intro and let's get right into it. Hi everyone, Jake here, welcome to the video, welcome to the channel if you're new, and as I mentioned at the start there, we are at the start of our third season here with Wolfsburg. I didn't think we'd win the Champions League by this point, but this does make it the longest running series I've had since, Vitesse maybe? Going all the way back to Vitesse on FM20, so that's a long time ago in terms of YouTube saves at least. So nice, we're in a third season. Hopefully you guys who are still along for the ride so far are enjoying it. Let me know anything you'd like to see differently. Like the video if you haven't already, because that always helps, and subscribe to the channel if you also haven't done that. If you're here at this point, you may as well. If you want to as well, you can find a Discord linked in the description with lots of like-minded Football Manager players, nice community of people to help you out with your Football Manager saves, or if you just want to show off your new Wonderkid, whatever it might be, feel free to join that. But yeah, we've made plenty of transfers. We're here for the start of Season 3, and let's waste no time and get right into it. Talking about firstly our pre-season, where not only have we dominated the friendlies, which I'll still reiterate this, I do not manage these, I let the assistant take over. We also won our first bit of silverware in the Super Cup, which I believe we lost last year, but this year we won it with 2 Florian Wirtz goals, which is a big deal for him because he is someone that I'm going to have to rely on this season based on the transfers that you're about to see. So hopefully we can get this kind of return out of Florian Wirtz on the regular, and being a young player, of course, it's great. He's only going to improve, and he is a key member of our side currently. We also won a cup match 7-0 with a new goal scorer on the team sheet there, so I won't reveal it just yet. But yeah, everything's going perfectly. We're playing Gladbach today, which is not, especially away, it's not the easiest start you could ask for in the Bundesliga. After that, we have a few months of fairly easy games before a Bayern Munich match, but I would think if we're doing well up to this point and then we beat Bayern Munich, we'll already be very strong title favourites, but it could get off to a tricky start because Gladbach are still a very decent side. Our club is developing very nicely. We've had facilities upgrades across the board over the course of the summer. I managed to get the stadium bought, so we now own the stadium. We're in the process of expanding the stadium. We're in the process of improving our training facilities, which are already at a super high level. We've got state-of-the-art youth facilities, and we've got the best recruitment and academy coaching you can get. So overall, everything's going great. Finances are looking brilliant as well. If we have a look at them, £122 million in the balance, no debts and loans, and still plenty of money in this season's transfer budget if we decide we need to improve. But I'm not going all out and buying loads of luxury signings that we don't need. But with the club's reputation now at 4.5 stars, we're pretty much in the market for anyone really. There's only maybe PSG, Manchester United and another couple of clubs who will be able to convince a player to join them over us if we offer them a good enough deal. So I'm very happy with that. I'm now on the favoured personnel list, as is Baku, Weghorst, Adeyemi, amongst many others, Paslak as well. So that's great to see. Everything is going perfect here at Wolfsburg, and we'll hope that means we can have a better run of the Champions League this year. Knocked out in the round of 16 in Season 2 and the quarterfinals, I think, in Season 1. If we can make a semi-final or a final, that'll be very good progress. But we've got plenty to talk about, particularly on the transfer front. But just before we do say that, I will have a look at the development centre and let you know that everything's going great here too. Maybe our second youth intake wasn't the best, but our Wolfsburg 2 team is pretty decent, and our Wolfsburg under-19s have won the league in both years, and they've won the cup in both years, and are now usually finalists or semi-finalists in the European Youth Champions Cup, whatever it is, basically the Youth Champions League. They do pretty well in that as well. Kenneth Wynn is an absolute star in goal and is going to be a big feature for us this year. We've got some players with plenty of potential as well hanging around in them ranks, all of which are at a decent level. Marcel Lutz looks like the next best player to come out of our academy at 16 years of age, even though we technically did buy him when he was super young, but I think £750,000 for a player who at the time was about 15 was a great bit of business from us, and he could definitely do something for us if the save was to go on for a long period of time. But I think the thing you're all probably most interested in before we do get involved in the first match of the season is the transfers. It's the thing you all love. So let's get right into it and show you the business that we've done. And we haven't gone completely crazy, I will say that. We haven't gone crazy in the market, but we have made a few transfers here or there. The first one being Jeremy Boga leaving the club, our backup attacking midfielder from last year and one of our star signings in the first window, has left the club for about 30 £8.5 million, I think it was. Yes, it was. He's gone to Tottenham, and I've got nothing against the guy. I thought he was absolutely brilliant, even probably better than Wirtz last season, even though he didn't play as much Boga. But a few injuries here and there, not playing too many games. When Tottenham offer you a £20.5 million increase on what you paid for a guy after only, less than 50 appearances, I think you kind of have to take it. And we've got players that can easily come in and step in to fill that backup role that Boga was doing, because he was playing in the games where we're going to win anyway, realistically. So Boga, or if it's a youth academy prospect, doesn't make too much of a difference. And I think as a bit of transfer business, it's a sensible piece of transfer business, which some of the other stuff I'm going to talk about later might not have been, but we'll get on to that. Anyway, we made a few more sales. Maximilian Philip, who we had in our first year and then loaned out, had an option to buy on his loan, which was completed. So we made £4.2 million from this guy. The club did pay £6.5 million for him, but that wasn't my decision. I think it's fair enough business. Make our money back on a player who was never really going to be good enough. 29 years old, wasn't going to get much better. I think that's fine to let him go. So Philip moves on. And I think a great bit of business on our end was selling Weghorst to Ajax for £31 million. This was a player who had 1 year left on his deal, wasn't playing all that regularly for us anymore, still played a good few games, but only 18 appearances isn't the most in the world, and Piccoli was really coming to his own in that target forward role. Bear in mind, when Weghorst was at the club, we had Sesko, Piccoli and Weghorst as our target forwards, and only Adeyemi as an advanced forward. So straight away we're thinking we need to sell a target forward and get a backup advanced forward for Adeyemi. Weghorst has left the club. He was brilliant. He goes down as a hero at Wolfsburg, but the amount of money we got for him is pretty insane for a 31-year-old with 1 year left on his deal. Tottenham also came in for a £20 million bid, I think, which we originally accepted, and Weghorst said, no, I'm not going there. Ajax came in for £31 million, and I think he'll have a great time back in the Netherlands, arguably at the biggest club in the Netherlands as well, so he's going to have a great time over there, I'm sure of it. But like I said, we needed an advanced forward to be the backup to Adeyemi. We didn't need another target forward, and on my shortlist, I had Sparta Prague's Adam Hlozek. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but he is usually a winger, but then I looked at him in that advanced forward role up front, and I think he's going to be the perfect player. Pace, finishing style, and decent mental attributes, much like Adeyemi. I think he's going to be very dangerous, and I've proved that really, because it was only a cup game, don't get me wrong, but he scored a hat-trick in his first appearance, has been very good for a while for Sparta Prague, and I think he's going to be great for us as well. And he's also not the kind of player that's going to want to play every single game. He was happy to be a squad player, and that's something that we did need. So he comes in to be Adeyemi's backup in that forward role. So hopefully we'll get a good result out of him in his time here. And if not, he's young, he has room to move on and sell for a profit. He's already got 24 appearances for the national team. This is a good signing in my eyes, and I think will really improve that forward line and the options that we do have, which will mean Adeyemi can get a rest more often than not. We have also signed a backup goalkeeper, or a third goalkeeper should I say, in Giorgio Mamardashvili, a Georgian goalkeeper from the Georgian divisions who was on loan at Valencia. He is one of the better Wonderkid goalkeepers in FM this year. I'd been scouting him for a while because he came through on a scout report. Had been playing very well in the Georgian divisions. I picked him up with the idea to loan him out, but I wasn't able to. But I figured, you know what, he's going to develop, he'll be a decent backup, and he's happy to be a backup, but he probably won't play all that much if I'm being really honest. But I think even if we did have to sell him, we'd make a profit on the guy. Our big signing this summer though was a player from Gladbach who we're playing in the next game, and that was Luca Netz. He is a German left back with plenty of potential, £30 million to £40 million I think it was. So we'll see how he does get on for us. I think he's going to be great. His value is way higher than what we paid for him. He's got the perfect attributes and loads of room to grow. And I spoke last season, I think it was, about wanting a German core to the squad. We've of course got Adeyemi, who is one of the gems of the German national team. We've got Wirtz, Arnold, Netz, Baku, amongst many others. So it's nice having this German core. And I thought DeMarco, as good as he was in left back, wasn't really the star of the show. So I was happy to bring in Luca Netz and then loan out Julian Ald to Arminia Bielefeld. He can get some game time there. DeMarco can be relegated to backup left back, and Luca Netz will hopefully have a bright future in our side. So that's pretty much everything I need to cover. Other than one thing, if I do go by position, you'll see we've got Mamardashvili, Kenneth Wynn and Cohen Castiles as our goalkeepers. The reason Mamardashvili came in was because there was at one point a time where I was going to sell Castiles because we got 3 offers of £45 million for this guy, who is a 31-year-old goalkeeper whose contract is running out at the end of the season. Realistically, in most cases, you'd accept it and buy a new goalkeeper. But I've been set on using Kenneth Wynn as our future of this club, a homegrown goalkeeper with plenty of potential. His determination is super low, but I'm hoping we can get around that, and I think he can develop into at least a good first team goalkeeper, Kenneth Wynn, even if he doesn't reach the 5-star potential. So I was originally planning on just letting Casteels go and bringing in Kenneth Wynn, but realistically, in a season where we're trying to win the Champions League, Kenneth Wynn is not yet ready to be a Champions League goalkeeper, and it's no fault on him. He's only like 17 years of age. We had the option, of course, to bring in another goalkeeper in Casteels' place and then just do a season of him playing there. We'd then have to do the whole thing of selling him on in the future, and Casteels is a proper leader at this club. He is the captain, and he is just great. Whenever any problems come up, I send him to deal with it, and he deals with it. And for that reason, I said, you know what, we're just going to keep him. We'll keep Casteels around for the year as planned. He'll probably still go at the end of his deal, depending on how Kenneth Wynn develops in this season. It might turn out by the end of the year, Wynn still isn't ready to be the guaranteed first team goalkeeper that we know that he can be. So we'll see how it gets on, but I've decided to reject the Casteels bid, which is why the smart business with Weghorst and Boga made a lot of sense in terms of our transfer business, because that pretty much covered all of the incomings that we did have. But yeah, there you go. That's our transfer business. Very happy with it. Hopefully we'll see some of those guys in action today, but we're going to start strong in this game against Borussia Monchengladbach in the league. So we're starting with Casteels in goal because big game player, Casteels needs to go in. Kenneth Wynn can go on the bench, but Kenneth Wynn is going to play most of the home games in the league, I think, and the cup games against teams I think we should beat, which is, you know, like 70% of the teams in the division now. So he's easily going to get 20 appearances plus this season. Last year he already had 12 and did pretty well, but he's not ready to be that first team goalkeeper in a game like this just yet. We go for Baku at the back with Lacroix and Gavardiol, with Luka Netz in the left back spot. We've got Lewis Cook, Shagler, Arnold. Do we go for Kozlowski here? I think we might do, you know. I'm trying to develop Kozlowski to be a top tier player for us, and why not play him in a game like this? Arnold works. Holzek would usually be Sesko, but he is out injured, so we'll go with Piccoli in that target forward role, I think, because I don't want Holzek to have to play that role. Also with Boga going, Florian Wirtz is our only recognised attacking midfielder, but Yusuf Amin comes back from a year on loan, looking like a pretty good player and can easily handle that backup role at the age of 19 to Florian Wirtz. We signed him for £190,000 and he had a good season with us, a poor season on loan, but I still think this guy has talent and I think he'll show it in this team when surrounded by better players. So that's the team we're going for. Pretty much our first choice 11 in most cases, I would say. I think this is what I'd go for, other than, of course, having Sesko up front for Piccoli, but I'm very happy with the team we've gathered together here. So let's go into our first match of a Bundesliga season, set the record straight. We've already beat Bayern Munich in the Cup, so if we can win here, we're really setting like a marker out to the whole division that they've got to keep up with us, and we are the top dogs now in Germany. So let's get into it and hopefully we'll get a win. Okay, we're off here in the game and it looks like a pretty decent Monchengladbach team. They've now got Sander Berge, who is a Sheffield player in real life. Did he stay there after they went down? Is it Sheffield that he's at? I'm sure it was. I'm not sure if he did go down with them and if he's playing in the Championship. If he did, I think he's a way better player than that. But I genuinely don't know what's gone on with him in real life, actually. Where is he in the current real life season? He's got to be Sheffield, hasn't he? Yes, he plays for Sheffield in the Championship for a year in Football Manager, and I imagine that's what he's doing in real life too, but I think he's a much better player than that, so good to see him at a good level here with Gladbach. They've got a pretty nice team overall, but I hope we can dominate this game. It's just the fact that it's away, and the first match of the season that I have a bit of a doubt, but it would be nice to see us dominate. And here's Kozlowski to Adeyemi, who had to tuck that away. He was offside though, which gives him a bit of leeway there, but good chance created from Kozlowski. Really looking forward to him in the midfield this year. This is the first time I'm pretty much using him as my starting Metzala. Like, he is going to be the main guy in the big matches now. He's getting towards like 19, 20 years of age, and I think he can really dominate on his day. He's a very good creative player, does really well in that role, and hopefully we'll see some of that from him this season as he really becomes a top-class Bundesliga player. Here's Baku though. Is he going to put in a cross for Adeyemi? He is. Two of our best players from last year combining in the end of season review. Baku won Fans Player of the Season, Best Player of the Season. Adeyemi won Best Young Player of the Season, Top Goal Scorer. So these two, the two German internationals, are clearly two of our better players, and it's great work from Baku yet again. Delivers the ball in well, and Adeyemi is not going to miss from there, and even puts it in the top corner for good measure, even from the 2 yards away that he was. So that's a great start for us. 35 minutes on the clock, 1-0 up, with pretty much our only real chance of the game, which is nice to see. And it does put us, at least for the time being, top of the division, and everyone is going to have to catch us from now on out. But there we go. First half is down and out. Looks like Piccoli isn't having the best of game in the target forward role, but he'll get there. He played very well in the second, or should I say, last quarter as opposed to second half. The last quarter of last season, Piccoli was better than Weghorst and arguably better than Sesko and Adeyemi up front. He was very, very useful in them final games, which, by the way, obviously we did record us winning the title with 2 games left after that. We won both of them 2 games, including Dortmund away. We battered them. So we're a really good team in this division now, and the football that we play is amazing. We've been smart with our transfer business. Yes, we spent a lot of money, but we've brought in a lot in transfer fees as well. I bet you our spending overall probably is only maybe £50 million in excess, and we've got plenty of money in the bank. We're doing great. All that would have been a great goal from Baku, but we've just developed this club into the perfect club. Great facilities, great youth setup, a tactical style with players who are happy where they're playing. The players who are squad players are happy to be squad players, but are still arguably very, very good players. So I think we're doing absolutely brilliantly. Let's have a look though what we're going to bring on in terms of our substitutes. I think we give Yusuf Amin a game. Good to see him back in the team. Hlojek is not a target forward, but he can do it just for this match. Usually he would come on for Adeyemi, but with Piccoli having a poor game, Sesko not available, I think it makes sense to bring on Hlojek and Amin, who are both young players. So that's good for us as well. Still bringing on, even our substitutes are good young players with plenty of potential, who are either going to be stars for us, or we can sell them on in the future for profit. And then we'll take off Kozlowski for Schegler for these final few minutes. Not many highlights in this game, but you know, you take it. If you come out with a first game with a win, particularly a 1-0 win, dominating chances, dominating possession, playing really nice football, I'm happy with this. If we can just scrape a 1-0 win, that's fine. We'll move on. And as we start to pick up the dynamics of winning all of the home games against the easy teams coming up, we should hopefully get to the point where we play Bayern Munich and we're able to hopefully smash them. Not to get my hopes up too much, but I think we're just on such a good level compared to any other team in the league. Very happy with that performance. 3 points on the board. We're playing before anyone else as well, so everyone can see us up there on the top of the league. We'll praise Adeyemi for his training performance. I don't know why we're doing that now, but apparently we are. But yeah, awesome work from us. A win for Luka Netz against his old club. Everyone playing fine. Piccoli was the only one maybe not on the top of his game, but it's all right. We're just starting the season. He didn't play as many pre-season matches. Just to quickly show you before we do finish up, how do I check it? Schedule. Season here. Yeah, here we go. So just to show you the final few games of the season, 2-1, but we were completely dominant, and then a win against Union Berlin with Piccoli and Sesko scoring there. So we are in a great vein of form, playing brilliant football. Hopefully the Champions League is the next step in terms of bringing this club up to the glory that I know we can reach. I'll show you a Champions League game in the next episode, probably the first or second game in the group. We've still got plenty of money to spend. I might improve the squad. I'll see how the squad looks going up to the transfer deadline, and we'll see what we do in the transfer market. But let me know if you think there's a position we should improve. Like the video if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like at this point, you may as well. Come on, you've watched so many episodes. Hit that button. You can change your mind at any point. Thank you all for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Goodbye.